Okay, hello everyone. I'm Bijal Sanghani from IX, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what IX is, what we're doing, a little bit about what's going on IXPs around the world, and a few of the projects that we're working on. My biggest challenge today is that I have 37 slides and 10 minutes, 15 minutes? 15 minutes. So I'm going to skip through some of these. So, IX is an association for internet exchange points. We promote an open internet interchange of ideas and experiences. What do? We have 2 forums a year, which is obviously just mostly for IXPs. And the last forum we had, which was in the UK, we had 42 IXPs present. And there's no other forum like this. So it's a great way for the IXPs to come together and learn and share ideas. We have a website, database and tools. And the tools actually on the website are not just for IXPs. The tools can be used for the participants of the IXPs. And it's a great way to see where you can connect, where other ASs are connected, and also just get an idea of what IXPs are there in different regions that you may want to connect to. We have a newsletter, so if you're interested in hearing what's going on within IX and IXPs in general, feel free to subscribe. We have working groups and task force, and Soline is actually leading one of those, so it's great to have her on board there. We have a close relationship with the IEEE Ethernet working group. We're looking at some of the more technical guys are looking at 400 gig and beyond. We've recently signed an MOU, well actually not recently, a year ago now, we're coming into the second year of this, with ISOC, and we're working together with ISOC on various different projects with IXPs around the world. We have an annual European IXP report, which is released in February every year. So if you're interested to hear, read a bit more about IXPs, you can read the 2013 one, which is available on the website. We have a twinning program, which I'm going to be talking a little bit about later on. And we have a benchmarking. And why do we do it? It's for the good of the community. But we have currently 78 affiliated IXPs. We grew 21 in the last 3 years. And the newest members are from Angola, Bulgaria, Serbia, Armenia, Kosovo, and Poland. And we have 12 patrons. This graph just shows the range of IXPs that are connected to, the range of ASNs that are connected to the IXPs. And as you can see, we've got quite a wide range, and interestingly enough, the 0 to 25 ASNs connected is the highest number there. So who connects to these IXPs? Well, some of you guys. Hosting providers, content providers, governments, enterprise. And you can see that there's actually a growth from 2012 to 2013 in most of those. So it's more and more organizations connecting to the IXPs, which is great as well. We have, I mentioned the databases, and we have a switch router database, and this basically just gives everyone an idea, and also within the membership. So if members are having problems with a particular piece of equipment or software, they can find within the database which IXPs are also using the same equipment, and they can contact them and get support, either via the mailing list or directly contacting them. And it's the same with the root server database. How many IXPs in Europe? We count 193, and that's in 48 countries and 146 cities. I do say known IXPs because sometimes there are IXPs that we find that have been around for a while, and then they're like, oh yeah, we're here, and we ask them to put their data into the database. We have a really cool, I think so anyway, interactive map if you want to have a look there, and that gives you a really good idea of all the IXPs globally. Traffic growth within the IX. I'm not going to talk about this too much because we all know it's going up and to the right. So, EuroIX represents the blue region there. There is also APIX, which is the Asia-Pacific Internet Exchange Point Association. There's FIX, which is the African one, and there's LACIX, which is representing Latin America and the Caribbean. The Federation. So in 2012, we signed an MOU to say that we would like to set up the Federation of Internet Exchanges. And FIX is going to be joining at the NANOG meeting in Baltimore next week. Very happy to have another one join into the Federation. The idea is to have a global database, have standards for the IXPs, and for them to follow best common practices. Automate data collection as much as possible, because we all know that when you rely on it manually, it doesn't always work. And the plan is to collaborate with other external databases. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the database project we're working on later. So that's the IXF board. And I'm just going to quickly run through the IXPs in the Federation. So in Asia, we have 18 known IXPs in 19 countries. And again, the traffic here has been pretty stable with a little increase. Africa, 30 known IXPs in 23 countries. There's a lot of work going on in Africa. Traffic growth in the FIX region, again, it's up and down, mostly up to the right. Latin America, 51 known IXPs in 11 countries and 45 cities, and again, up and to the right. What's interesting, actually, is what we used to see in the past during the summer months and during December, Christmas time, was you'd see a very clear dip in traffic when everyone was either on holidays or offline. But now, with the use of so many mobile devices, we're not really seeing that dip during those months. It's pretty stable throughout the year, with the growth, of course. In North America, we see 97 IXPs, 2 countries. And the traffic there is, again, up and to the right. On these slides as well, I don't know if they're going to be shared later on, but what we've added to these slides, which wasn't there before, was actually that we've started to write down how many IXPs we're monitoring. So, for example, in the US, in the North America region, we were from August 2013, we were monitoring seven IXPs, and that's now grown to 21. So that also explains a little bit of why the traffic increase may be a little more than it actually is. Some of the projects that we're working on, one fun thing that we're doing is we're looking at sports or kind of any traffic during certain events, and we did this with the RIPE NCC, and we're blogging about it on RIPE Labs. And this is just one of the graphs here, and this was traffic at PTC in Brazil and traffic at London during the Brazil-Germany game. So you can see on the Brazilian Internet Exchange there was a clear dip in traffic, and in the German one there was there was a peak. I'm not sure quite why that happened. But a couple of years ago, during the French Open, I think this was in 2011, for the first time ever, the men's final had to go on to the Monday because of rain. It was postponed. And I think France IX at the time had a peak in traffic there because everyone was at work watching the tennis when they should have been working. So it's just a little bit of fun. Of course, it doesn't really mean anything, and it's not going to break the internet. Right, so the database. We know that there are lots of databases out there. And what we want to do is have a single place for IXP data. So we've currently started development on the EuroIX database, which is actually the only database that IXPs can manage their own data. So, and obviously what that means is that there's greater accuracy, and the IXPs, we're encouraging IXPs to automate this data collection to us so that it's, well, we don't have to chase them for manual inputs. And also the database is open and pluggable. So what that means is that others can actually use the data and mirror it from the IXF database. The end goal being IXPs can input their data directly into their local IXPA, and it goes into the federation. We're working very closely with Peering DB, and what we're exchanging with them is they're going to get the IXP data from us, and we will use the networked data center and ISP data from them, and also be able to do some cross-referencing to make sure that the data that is in the databases both ways is as accurate as it can be. So we've set up the IX Federation database. The API is using Python and Django. Again, it allows the IXPs to maintain their own data, and all interaction is in JSON. We have a proof of concept available there, and it's still work in progress. So currently the EuroIX is still the master database, but this is going to change as we continue to work on it. And all the code is available on GitHub. Right, twinning is winning. So we all know that IXPs can help facilitate and increase peering. Increased interconnects will benefit the internet ecosystem, and especially in regions around the world where it's not so, there isn't as much peering as we'd like. We all want IXPs to succeed, so startups can help and benefit from learning from the established IXPs, and we're working with partners such as IXOC on this with the Axis project. So France IX are doing some really, really good stuff there. They've provided training and support to new IXPs in Comoros and Guinea. They've also dispatched RIPE Atlas probes, which is a project that the RIPE NCC are working on to get idea of latency in different parts of the world, as well as sponsored the African Internet Summit and the AFPIF meetings. Other IXPs that are involved in twinning are NetNode, who twins with 3 IXPs. We've got DKIX that are twinning with 2. And Nick from INEX recently went to the Gambia to build their new IXP, who they'll be twinning with. And you know, it's helped right down to getting IP addresses and ASN numbers, and then training. Training is one thing that is really, really key out there. Benefits of twinning, exposing engineers to problems they may not see in their own environments. You get marketing and commercial kudos. The use of standards, which we're all planning to be on, and training material that's all going to be on the EuroIX portfolio. We're trying to encourage IXPs to follow best common practices, and it makes the internet faster and better in the markets that we're doing this in. And finally, it's a feel-good factor. You're helping out because you can. And that's it. Questions? Was that fast enough?
Very fast. Any questions? Okay, thank you, Bijal.
Thank you.